Welcome to another episode of Film Addict. I am your host, the Film Doctor. So there is some movie news that is kind of interesting. There is supposedly $30 million that was given to Zack Snyder as a means to create a actual Snyder cut version of Justice League. Now, anybody that's ever seen Justice League, the movie that had come out, I want to say maybe about a year or two ago, it wasn't really the greatest. It was all right, but it was all this hype, and we thought it was going to be so great, and it was just meh. And many people don't actually know the story behind Justice League. Zack Snyder, who did 300, worked on Justice League as the director for this movie, and when the movie was complete, his daughter had died. I think she committed suicide. I really don't remember the reason, how she died or why she died. But she died nonetheless. And so he wasn't able to work on that project during the post-production of it. Warner Brothers ended up putting together a version of Justice League and released it that really was not the vision or the direction or the story that Zack Snyder was trying to convey and tell. So they're saying that on HBO Max, and I don't know when, I want to say that they said this year, but I highly doubt that they'll get it together by this year. But, you know, I could be wrong. But the fact of the matter is that there's supposed to be a new version, possibly around 4 hours long, a Snyder Cut version of Justice League that's supposed to introduce Darkseid and have, his aura, throughout the film, kind of known. It has a different direction, a different feel. And there's a lot of things that were not inside of the first one that would be inside of this one. I don't have HBO Max, but I need my hands on a copy of this Snyder Cut. I've been waiting to see, because I'm a huge Justice League fan, I'm a huge Marvel DC fan. I don't think they did justice to that movie. And there was supposed to be one or two more afterwards. The way they ended it made you seem like there was going to be more. I don't know. I really do. I hope that it comes out. I hope that it's good. I hope that I'm able to see it or buy it. And I hope that it does justice, no pun, to the original Justice League film that was just meh in my eyes. So that's all I have for the movie news. Let's talk about what's coming soon. So the movie that I want to talk about is, I already actually reviewed it, I believe. It's called Tenet, and it's by one of my favorite directors, Christopher Nolan. He's directing this movie called Tenet. Looking at some of his other films that are some of my greatest movies that I love, like Inception and The Dark Knight, I'm excited to see where this movie goes. I'm not only just the film doctor, I'm a film director, I'm an actor, a whole plethora of different things that I do inside of entertainment. And so it's very difficult to come up with a concept that's different and unique. And when the first trailer of Tenet came out, I had no clue what it's about. It looks like stuff's moving backwards in time and he's trying to solve a crime. So they released the trailer 2 to this, and I'm hoping that in this trailer 2, it gives a little bit more story, background story, and depth to the film, so that I have a little bit of an understanding. Like, I know a lot of people that go and they watch a trailer and they're like, I'm glad that trailer didn't show anything, because they go in blindfolded and they're unbeknownst to how things are going to happen and play out. And I think I do warrant that kind of movie too. Looking at stuff like Endgame, Avengers Endgame, they released 2-3 trailers, had no clue where they were going, the direction. Like, I don't even know how they put clips together and still had me lost about everything. But they did so good and so well with that, and I'm hoping to do the same thing here with Tenet. So let's check it out. I don't want to talk through the whole thing.
All I have for you is a word. Tenet. It'll open the right doors, some of the wrong ones too. Use it carefully.
To do what I do, I need some idea of the threat we face.
As I understand it, we're trying to prevent World War III.
I'm not saying Armageddon here.
No. Something worse.
I gather you have an interest in a certain Russian national.
Might bring me in.
You really want to know? He can communicate with the future.
Time travel.
No. Inversion.
Aim it and pull the trigger. You're not shooting the bullet, you're catching it.
Whoa.
Well, I've seen too much.
Well, we'll try and keep up.
Your duty transcends national interests. This is about survival.
Seems bold.
Bold, I'm fine with. I thought you were gonna say nuts.
This is where our worlds collide.
How would you like to die?
Old.
You chose the wrong profession.
Well, happened here.
Hasn't happened yet.
There are people in the future who need us. Who need Tenet.
We need to save them here and now.
This reversing the flow of time. Doesn't us being here now mean it never happened? You want to crash a plane?
But not from the air. No, it's so dramatic.
Well, how big a plane?
That part is a little dramatic.
So a few things. Number one is that, first of all, I love you, Christopher Nolan, but you do understand there's more actors in the world than just the same ones that you've been using. That's the only downfall that I would give you about that trailer. Other than that, it looks good. I'm still lost. I have no clue. I love the music. I love the action. I love the style and the way that he films things. It's just so dramatic and so intense. Keep doing your thing. Like, the movies that you're doing, I don't think he does enough of them. You just need to do a plethora. Just keep banging out these blockbuster hits, and the style that you do them, I think is just phenomenal. I mean, you're a modern day director that I enjoy and think that others will appreciate not only your style of cinematography, but your style of storytelling. It's phenomenal. I can't wait for that to come out. I can't wait to see it. So that's all I have. Let's talk about new releases. So the movie I want to talk about today is called The Lovebirds. Now this movie, I didn't review it as a trailer. But I have seen inside the theaters as a trailer that was supposed to be released as a movie. Surprisingly, I pop on Netflix and I see that this is an option to view. Now, I don't know if it's because of everything that's going on. They decided instead of releasing it inside of movie theaters that they were going to release it as a Netflix movie, which I'm happy that they did, and because I was very excited to see what it turns out to be. It has I can't think of the guy's name, Kumaj or something. He was inside of Stuber with Dave Bautista. He's been in quite a few movies. And but Issa Rae is the black woman who plays inside of the film, and she is hilarious. Now, to me, I saw her and more or less discovered her when I saw the movie Little, which was really, really good. In my eyes, I really like that. I know that I've come across a couple of people that did not think it was as funny. Her dry, sarcastic sense of humor and her delivery of jokes is spot on, perfect. I don't know if it's because her personality is similar to mine, but I just love her inside of the things that she's been in that I've seen. And so I was excited to see if this was good. Although it looked like one of those cheesy comedies that was just terrible that they just wanted to put out at first. But knowing who she was and knowing who the guy was in terms of his performance from Stuber, which was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. When I saw Stuber, I was like, oh, this movie's going to be stupid. And I ended up seeing it, and I was like, this movie is really funny. So to see that comedy duo between these two was like hilarious. Like, funnier than I thought. Like, I thought it was gonna be like, it's pretty funny, it's alright. I can't even tell you how many times I was laughing. Like, I was dying laughing. If you have to like listen to a lot of their jokes to catch a lot of their jokes. And I don't want to give a lot of them away, or any of them away, actually. I'd rather you just watch it for yourself. But it was so funny. Like, throughout the whole movie, it wasn't like just, here. Like, every couple of minutes, like, they had a really good joke. Now, the thing that I think was the downside to it is that the story was kind of crappy. Like, alright, so they come across this murder, which sounds like a general story, and they're trying to solve it on their own, kind of that Queen and Slim, Bonnie and Clyde kind of duo, rush hour duo kind of thing. But when they come across like this secret organization, and I don't want to go too in depth with it, that it just wasn't explained well for that story, that connection, what that organization was doing, their purpose and everything. And if it was, because I have a tendency not to fully listen and fully pay attention because I'm so drawn into the movie and what's going on, the action and the storytelling, the jokes. Maybe I'm laughing too hard to even focus on stuff. I don't think they talked about it enough. I don't think they focused on that part, and that's a huge part of why they're even running. The crime at hand. I think that crime at hand with those people responsible wasn't clearly or in depth spoken about. And so to me, I mark it down. I give that an A-. I think if they would have given that story and or even added a couple more jokes, not saying that there wasn't enough jokes, but if they would have added just a couple more to the hundreds that they already had and fixed that storytelling portion, I think that would have been an A++ in my book. So good. It's still worth seeing. If you want a good laugh, you know, I definitely recommend checking this out. So it's called The Lovebirds. It did not come to movie theaters. It's on Netflix, so check it out if you have Netflix. That's all I have for you guys for new releases. Let's talk about. So in terms of movies that are must-see, this movie I don't think really anybody knows about. Came to movie theaters long ago, but wasn't something that a lot of people I think went to see to where the word spread it how good it was. When you think of this movie, you think of Groundhog Day, because it has that kind of Groundhog Day, Edge of Tomorrow kind of feel in terms of reliving moments or a day or whatever. And so this movie is called Source Code and has Jake Gyllenhaal in it. And it's basically about a man who is I'm trying to be very careful because I don't want to give away anything inside of this one because there's such a huge twist at the end and connection, and you're just lost inside the story from beginning to end because you want, like, they're not giving you anything, they're just giving you bits and pieces like breadcrumbs, and so you're just drawn into wanting more and more and more until you get all the crumbs together and you have that full piece of bread and that full piece of story. So he's basically like a soldier on a mission in order for some special operative, we'll say, where the government or the military is putting forth this project, this machine or whatever that allows him to relive moments as if he's actually there. And so it's new technology, and so he's a soldier that's being used to test this technology. And the whole purpose is to relive the moment, and he can kind of change whatever he wants. Like, he's actually kind of there in order to see everything that was happening in this given moment on this train and trying to find the person that's responsible for blowing up the train. So, you know, I forget how much time he has. I'm going to say, you know, let's say, I'll put a number out there. Let's say 15, 20 minutes in order to kind of walk around, talk to everybody, investigate everybody, ask whatever questions and see what's out of the norm in order to figure out who's responsible for blowing up the train. So, you know, there's a lot of different suspects and people that along the way you're just like, oh, she did it or he did it. There's some comedy that's there. There's a lot of thrilling moments that happens, and there's action inside of here. All in all, it's a really good movie. I give it personally an A. I think for many people that like good stories, unique stories, that's where it is. You know, the cinematography it's very generalized. This movie came out a long time ago. It doesn't have like up-to-date, really great CGI or anything, but it is really good. And I don't think that's even really needed, because you look at some of the classics, maybe like Scarface or something, it didn't have all the great, you know, animation or CGI, but it had really good storytelling. And for the cinematography that they were able to do during that time, it still had good cinematography for that. You don't really need millions of dollars to invest inside of CGI and animation in order to acquire great cinematography for something like for that. But this was just very basic cinematography. The music was thrilling, nothing that stood out perfectly, but still kept your heart racing and pumping within the action that you visually see. I think that you kind of felt like you're there, like, oh my God, what's gonna happen next? Oh, check there. You're like, you missed this. Like, I think that you kind of feel like you're there and you're reliving that moment with him over and over and over. So I have recommended it to a lot of different people that have never ever heard of it, knew nothing about it, and then like 10-15 minutes in, they're like, I gotta see what else happened. Like, this is crazy. And I'm like, yeah, it gets better. Like, there's some stuff that's about to hit the fan you don't even want to know. Like, stuff's about to go crazy. So it's called Source Code. I give it an A. If you haven't seen it, please check it out. And like always, every week, I would say, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Hit that bell. Email. I don't even put the email up there. I don't even know if anybody uses it. But if you still have it, you can go back and get it from one of the other episodes. Email me. I don't even care. I am the Film Doctor, and this has been another exciting episode of Filmatic.